Now we have Frank Lococo, who's our top global advisor down in the Tucson area and also Tucson foothills. Tucson is a beautiful area. People think of Tucson as being flat, but there's some mountain ranges, the Catalinas and whatnot, that are just absolutely gorgeous. And Frank's gonna give you a whole spiel on the whole market in Tucson. So Frank, it's yours.
Thank you, Tom, and good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Tom, if you can go next slide. Yeah, as Tom mentioned, the topography, I think that's a big, distinct differentiator, and it really shapes our city. We're surrounded by five mountain ranges. We're about, again, 110 miles south of Phoenix, Scottsdale, so about 2 hours is a good rule of thumb, door to door, from Tucson to Scottsdale. Our elevation's about 2,500 feet. So the mountains right there in this picture, those are the Catalina Mountains. They reach up to 9,000 feet in elevation. So yes, we're about 7 to 10 degrees cooler than Scottsdale. But how we deal with summers is we go up the Mount Lemon Byway. It's a beautiful scenic trip that takes you from downtown Tucson. You go to the Northeast Corridor and you go up to 9,000 feet in elevation. It drops 30 degrees. So hiking, everything's accessible, multiple mountain communities surround it. And then you have this beautiful urban city. We call it the Old Pueblo, which is the old city, one of the oldest cities in North America. In fact, it started when the Spanish started the Presidio de San Agustin. There's tons of rich history and heritage and that go back, to 1775 when they built this mini city within downtown Tucson, which is still there and is one of our historic neighborhoods in the city of Tucson. Um, Next slide. You're going to get more of a diverse spread of pricing here. We're seeing a lot more luxury buyers compare Tucson and Scottsdale. I've already had two or three this year, and they're spending a week in each destination. Think of Tucson. It's a small town, but has the services and offerings of a big city. The vibe is definitely different. It has an authentic, more intentional feel. It beats to a different pace, but yet we have access to a downtown urban lifestyle. $1 million home in a desirable neighborhood in Tucson, gated community, would compare to Scottsdale maybe 1.5. That's just a ballpark. Obviously more factors will do it, but your dollar does go a lot further in Tucson. Most of our buyers, 2 to 4 million, you have pretty much choice on where you want to live. Our beloved University of Arizona, it's a big influence for all of our community. Everything from sports. I know Tom and I always, giving each other a hard time. ASU, U of A. Obviously, we have the better basketball team. But beyond sports, the performing arts, they have the University Medical Center, which we'll talk about. They influence our community in more ways than just sports. Um, the performing arts, the crafts, the book festivals that they put on. There's a lot of cultural activities that they help push. And when we think of the Tucson luxury market, you have to kind of go back to the 1940s and 50s when they brought over an architect, Josias Josler, in the 1940s and 50s. That's what created the Catalina foothills, these acre lots intertwined with natural desert. And that's what makes it so special. You have easy access to downtown, you have mountain views to the north, city views to the south. And then beyond it, over the last 20, 30 years, you started hearing different names, Dove Mountain, Oro Valley. And I'll get into more of those neighborhoods shortly. But that's the last 20 years, all your new construction, most of your new construction is going to be in these new communities. And I know Jeanette mentioned dark sky in Sedona. Well, we also are designated as a dark sky territory. And that what that means is it's one of the best places to study astronomy, to view the stars. In fact, the U of A underneath the football stadium is the Mirror Lab, and this is people don't know this. It's where they actually manufacture the telescope lenses for some of the top observatories in the world. And the reason they choose Tucson for this is because of our elevation change. We go from 2,000 feet to 9,000 feet on most of these mountain ranges, and it's the perfect place to observe the stars. And when you're sitting outside on a January, February day with your t-shirt on, the stars are bright. It's just a beautiful evening out here. We talked about the history and the culture of Tucson. This weekend we have the Tucson Rodeo. Kids are out of school. It's a Tucson holiday. It's the 101st anniversary, one of the largest non-motorized parades in the country, and they continue to do that. We have the Gem and Mineral Show that just wrapped up. There's a lot of different, niche events that bring people to our city. And then in November, they do the All Souls Procession, which is our version of the Day of the Dead to honor that culture in the November timeframe. Next slide. Much like our other Arizona destinations, hiking, different trail systems, weave throughout. I think the big differentiator for Tucson is our cycling community. We have the El Tour de Tucson that attracts 10,000 cyclists a year. Why does this matter? We always ask our buyers, why Tucson? Cycling comes up more than you think. We've had a buyer from the East Coast last year. He chose his home based on where the trail system was. It's called the Huckleberry Loop. It's a 130-mile paved system, so you're not on the side of the road. You're safe from cars, and it's interconnected throughout the city. 130 miles of paved bike path. It's a game changer for those that love cycling. Golf communities, the big for Tucson, I would say I just had a buyer comparing golf communities, Tucson and Scottsdale. You're going to have a little bit more access to Tucson golf communities. You can buy a home outside of the golf, the gated community, and then choose to belong to any club. There's probably 1 out of 5 that has a waiting list. The rest of them are open, but the flexibility on use is much more open in Tucson. We have a rich culinary history, city of gastronomy. What that means is UNESCO gave Tucson the only U.S. designation. And what that means is we're using ancient grains. We're using a lot of Sonoran wheat, mesquite, prickly pear, right? Those are our margaritas, the fruit from the cactus. And these chefs and these restaurants that we have in Tucson are using these in everyday menu items. And that's why we've been awarded the City of Gastronomy. I mentioned historic neighborhoods, beyond the adventure, if you're into walking, going into art museums, walking to a coffee shop, going to sporting events, we have a variety of different historic neighborhoods. These are your adobe architecture, very, very unique flooring, very unique qualities that exist in central Tucson. And it speaks to the history and the vibe of our city. You won't see homes, not even in Santa Fe, because I've lived in Santa Fe. These have its own feel to it. And for those of you that have been here, you know what I'm talking about. The equestrian estates, as Tom mentioned before, we have an office in Tubac, Arizona. They're known for large ranches, large estates. We also have multiple ranch style estates up in Tanca Verde, which is northeast Tucson. So if that's important to you, of course, we're used to it. We have to be very diverse with our real estate in Tucson. We do a lot of vacant land, a lot of equestrian estates, a lot of luxury estates. There's no trend. It's really what you want and how you want to retire, and Tucson will have an option. Active adult communities. We didn't talk too much about these in the other destinations. I know Phoenix has and Scottsdale has many. This is your 55 and older communities. These are for the buyers that just want the easy button. You press any button here in the adult communities, you have instant friends, instant community. And these amenities, it's like a resort. You have pickleball, lap swimming. There's even a softball field if you want to rekindle those skills. And it's all a variety of price points, 400 to 1.5. 400,000 to 1.5 is kind of the range of these communities. So it really depends on where you want to be and which community feels good to you. Next slide. 2 major medical centers, Banner University Medical Center, which is a University of Arizona training hospital. Now, the benefits for that is we have a constant access to talent. There's always going to be doctors. Your access is better. Critical care is better. TMC Health is our tried and true they've been here for, many years, and they service, big majority of Tucson. And then beyond the traditional hospitals, we have the Dr. Andrew Weil Center of Integrative Wellness. And, he lives in Tucson. He's Harvard trained, and he started a school on focusing on the whole person, right? The preventative, not just prescribing, but really understanding the body and mind. And I love Sedona. We can't compete with some of their spas, but I have to tell you, many people don't know, we were the beginnings of Canyon Ranch and Miraval, both here in Tucson. Canyon Ranch has about 100 single family homes in their community. Miraval has about 16 private villas, one of which is on the market right now. So we get a lot of international buyers, people from all over the country that come and they want to make wellness a part of their living and part of their lifestyle. And these two resorts are amazing. There's nothing like it. You can live in Canyon Ranch, eat from their chefs, have all those amenities, access to their specialist, daily. We talked about the pricing. When you look at all the homes in the MLS, which is our multiple listing service, you'll get an average price or a median price of 450. That's not, we're our office in Tucson is really 800,000 is really what we're trading mostly at. Our highest home that has sold in Tucson is 8.5 million. So we're not quite to the 30 million mark, but we're trying, we're getting there. And most of our luxury buyers will be in the 1.5 to 4 million. And again, that will give you, most choice. But we are starting to see a little bit more trying to push that threshold. And as I mentioned, Oro Valley, this is your northwest part of Tucson. Most of the land has been built there over the last 30 years. We continue to see a lot of new growth, new development. The Ritz-Carlton residences are in Dove Mountain. They've just announced that they're building new, luxury condos or town that walkable from the resort. Stone Canyon was Phil Mickelson's golf development, and that's in Oro Valley. That comes up a lot with buyers. And these Ventana Canyon, Pima Canyon, both in the Catalina foothills, are very, common neighborhoods that come up. Two listings in Tucson. This first one is in Dove Mountain. Dove Mountain, this is a brand new build, 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, about 2,800 square feet. Has a brand new pool behind it. Your back's up to open space, views of the mountains, perfect lock and leave second home. Could be a primary home as well, for 865. And this is right near, probably 5 minutes from the Ritz-Carlton Dove Mountain. And then the next one is in Sabino Canyon, close to the trails, the hiking. You have a golf course in this community, but you can just look at that picture right behind it, rolling hills of saguaros, privacy. This is an acre lot, very straightforward home, 3,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, 1.5. And this, I think it's 15 days on the market. These are it's hard to find new construction, in certain parts of Tucson. So these will usually trade quicker than most. I think that's it. Just wanted to thank everyone and Daniel, Gale, Sotheby's International Realty. I'll let Tom kind of wrap it up, but thank you for hearing all about each of our markets.